Okay. There we go. Yes, we're gonna go over this month and we're gonna do a slight shallow dive into the quarterly. Just because they just came out. I'm gonna turn this one a little bit that way. Hey, you, how are you?
Good. Good. Any questions for me? Any quick questions on here?
No, I've written about 10 questions down. So we need to sit down and go through.
Yeah, Jessica's here. She-
What did you volunteer me for?
Answer
Yeah, you
10
said you were
quick
playing.
questions. I have 10 quick questions.
10 quick questions. I sent a lender 15 quick questions.
there you go.
You responded back, you have 15 questions, which is the most important. I'm at my kid's soccer game. I said, you get back to me. I need all of them. I need all of them answered, please. Boy. Okay. You guys ready to get started? Yes, ma'am. It's 10:03 and we had an appointment at 10 o'clock. May I come in? Yes. Okay. All right, my name is Jessica Maddern and I have been an agent here at the Keller Williams Plano office since the very beginning of my time, 2016. And I am one half of a two-part husband and wife team. Actually, we're 7 parts now. And we're the Maddern team. And Brad joined me in the business full-time in 2018. Since then, we have helped about 303 families. We've closed the 100 and Morgan will probably tell us 100 and I don't know, 26 million in closed sale volume, something like that since 2016. And we are chugging right along and we're here today to talk about chart masters. So who here has heard about chart masters? Okay, Bob, have you heard about chart masters?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, excellent. Excellent. And we have several in the Zoom room. Can everybody? Okay, we have 1, 2, 3 on the Zoom room. So if you guys can see us and want to put some information in the chat, be sure to respond to you as well. So Chartmaster started in the Atlanta Market Center area with Chartmaster Chuck. And then since then, Jeremy Trask has taken over the business. He's out of Colorado. He used to be in Atlanta, then moved to Colorado, which is where he's from originally. And I heard about Chartmasters first from my coach, Joanne and Tom Curtin out of Atlanta. And when they were explaining to me what Chartmasters was and all the stats and how they were using in their business, I had a light bulb moment, brought it to Angie and Jill here at the office. And I was like, I think we need this in our office. I think our agents really, benefit from this. We need this. And so we looked at it, brought it to the ALC. ALC voted on it. And then sure, we got it, Lucy. Thank you. And sure enough, we have it here. And so we want to talk about how you can use it in your business. So what we're going to do today is go over the monthly report in pretty significant detail, what is included in that. And then we're going to do a very shallow dive on the quarterly reports. The quarterly reports just came out, of course, first quarter. I'm going to show you how we can access all of the reports. And then I don't know about you, but I'm not a super duper numbers person. So if you do have a super duper deep dive numbers question, I will take your question down and ask Jeremy. He is the numbers guy. So he's the statistical guru here. So if there's something that I don't know, it's not that I can't get the answer for you. Okay. Anybody have any questions so far? Oh, okay, good. Do my job. All right. So here's the most important thing I can teach you is how to find the chart masters. So And this is an interactive class, so you guys please stop me. And if you have your computers, go ahead and get them out and you can use them. And for all my Zoomers, I hope that you can see my screen. If you cannot, please let me know. But what you're gonna do is log into mykw.kw.com. Can I erase this? The 411? Yes, go ahead. I'm gonna log into mykw.kw.com. So I've already done that here. From this page, after you log in, you're gonna click on My Market Center Intranet, which is this. There's a couple ways to get here, but right here is how I do it. My Market Center Intranet. Ready to follow that? And then you're gonna click on Market Center, which is at this top bar right here, Market Center. And then Documents. And voila, you found them because they're all right here located under Chart Master Reports. Click this little drop down. And what you're gonna do is click on 2023. That's how they're organized. So click on 2023, it's gonna drop down and they're located by month. And then of course you have the quarterly reports here as well. So we'll go over that in just a minute, but let's go ahead and look at March reports. This might look a little overwhelming, but the reason it's broken down into so many different categories is just recently we've broken out condos and townhomes from single family homes. So how many of you have gone on a listing appointment before with a condo or townhome and tried to explain to a seller that single family dwellings don't exactly always match up to a condo or townhome? So, I mean, even living in a condo or townhome, a lot of amenities are different, yard space is different, you're not living on top of or next to somebody, sharing a wall. So we've broken those out here. And so there's 3 different types of reports. So there's a county report, a city report, and a school report or an ISD report. And those are all in here and they're broken out into condo, townhome, county, condo, townhome, city, condo, townhome, ISD. And they're also broken out into detached county, detached city, detached ISD. Does that make sense to everyone? So if depending on what type of product you're looking for in terms of what type of housing, that will direct you to which report to go get. So for the purposes of this class, we're going to go ahead and look at single family or detached. And you can see that there's a PDF version and a PowerPoint of each one. I like looking at the PDFs just because I use a Mac and I don't always have access to PowerPoint. But we're going to look at the PDF version of this. And so we're going to go down here to the detached. And we're going to look at the county report first. So Dallas detached selected counties month for March 23. Everybody see that? We're going to go ahead and second to last one here on this list this month. Counties report. Okay, everybody, Zoomers, can you see my screen? Oh, Brad Maddern's on the Zoom. Okay. Brad Maddern asked me some good questions here. Okay, let me zoom in here. You guys can see. Is that better? Need more? Minimize this. Okay. Yeah. Uh-oh, what did Brad say? Yes. Okay, excellent. Great question, Brad. Okay. Okay, so this is the county's report, and we're going to go over what's included in this county's report. So the first page is we're going to go over what each column means. So this is all selected counties in the area, and we're going to look at the top columns first. So obviously the first column is broken down into price range. So all the data is broken down, obviously everything under 250,000, between 253, 3 to 350 and $50,000 increments until you get into your luxury price point here. Then you have new listings for the month, active listings for the month, under contract listings for the month, and then the ratio. So how many of those went pending in the month? And then how many closed in the month? What the median sales price was in that category for that month. the median price per square foot in that category for the month. And then the price per square foot, median price per square foot for that category for that month. And then we have months of supply of inventory. So the way I describe months of supply of inventory to my clients is if nothing else came on the market starting today, it would take in this 250 category, it would take 1.2 months to sell everything in that $250,000 and under category. Because that's how much supply we have. It would take 1.2 months to sell everything in that category. That's how much supply we have left. And then absorption rate is taking these two columns right here, months of supply and absorption rate, take the same data, they just calculate them backwards. So what I mean by that is months of supply is how much supply we have left. Absorption rate is how quickly it's selling through. So I typically focus on the months of supply whenever I'm talking to a consumer. It's a little easier for them to understand than absorption rate. The next column is sold above list price. So what percentage of homes sold above the list price in that category for the month? What percentage of homes experienced a price reduction in that category for the month? And then of the ones that did not do a price reduction, what their median percent of their original list price was. So as you can see here, most of the categories had experienced 100% of their list price until you get down to the $700,000 to $800,000 price range. And they experienced 99.8% of their list price on average. And then of the houses that did do a price reduction, what was their percent of original list price received median? So as you can see, the homes that did a price reduction, they got less percent of their original list price. We'll talk about the data more in a minute. And then the next column is of the homes that did not do a price reduction, how many days did they spend on the market? Next column is of the homes that did do a price reduction, how many days did they spend on the market on average? Yeah, huge difference. And then the last column is what percentage of homes in that category experienced a canceled or expired or failed listing? Any questions? So what you're looking at is all of the counties. And this is not necessarily all the counties in our MLS area. Like this does not include Taylor County, which is in Abilene. It includes in our general area here. So over time, as chart masters will sell to other offices in the area, then it'll be the greater all the counties. But the counties that are included in this.
So again, you said the absorption rate was how quickly things are selling, or I wasn't quite sure.
Yes.
Could you repeat that?
Yes, let me see if I wrote down a better way to say that.
Because you said months of supply, obviously it's how many months it's on the market, with the absorption. So it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, so months of supply and absorption rate are taking the same sets of data and they're calculating them opposite of each other. So months of supply of inventory is how much supply is left, and absorption rate is how quickly it's selling through.
In a month.
In the month,
In
in that price range.
Like the category that is a 2.0 right in the middle, the months of supply is 2.0,
Mhm.
which is 2 months. So the absorption rate is right at 51%, which means half the house is sold in 1 month.
I guess so. This would be a Jeremy Trust question for me.
Or do you think?
I think he would defer to Jeremy too, because I've asked him this question before.
Okay.
But I don't know. Okay, now something else that is important to know about these county charts is the green boxes equal a seller's market, the yellow boxes equal a balanced market, and the red boxes equal a buyer's market. And your key is down here on the bottom, right here. So if you ever forget that, there's a little key down here at the bottom. So here you go, Tish. It says months of supply is how long it would take to sell all active listings if no new listings were put on the market. So 0 to 6 months in the seller's market, 6 to 7 months in the balance market, and 7+ months in the buyer's market. That's how they get the green, yellow, or red box category. And then absorption rate is the number of homes sold in the month divided by the number of active listings on the market. Over 20% is the seller's market, between 15 and 20% is the balanced market, and under 15% is the buyer's market. There's some other little lingo for you down there. Okay, any questions on this first page so far? Okay, so here's, the next page is the same data broken out month over month and year over year. So what I mean is you'll see the category, the columns. Remember the columns at the top? This is the same information, but broken out in rows. So the same headings across the top are now in the rows, and you're looking at February 2023 compared to March of 2023. So last month compared to this month, and then the percent change from month to month. And then you're also looking at March of last year compared to March of this year, and the percent change year over year. So does anybody want to give me, like for instance, if I'm sitting down with a seller, a point I might pull out just across all counties would be this median sales price. Median sales price has gone up 1.3% month over month, but it's actually gone down 2.5% year over year. That might be kind of interesting. Yes, Jill.
Why are there some that are blanks? Why is there not anything for March 2022?
So we have not had chart masters for a full year yet. And so if you see any blanks or some like random zeros, it's because we haven't had it long enough to have a trend. Yes, so I think it's gonna be June will be a year for us. And so then all of that data will start going in. Good question. Okay, Zoomers, if you have questions, please put them in the chat and I'll make sure to grab them. So, and the other, like I always look at kind of the outliers. Something else that's interesting is price reductions. Last year in March, 10% of all homes in all counties experienced a price reduction. 47% this year, that's a 342% increase. You think it's important to price your house right now?
Yes.
And we'll look at that on the quarterly report a little bit more, how important that is. So these are good, like, you know, whenever you go to a dinner party and they say, how's the market? Have some of these statistics in your back pocket to pull out, you know? Well, actually, I'm glad you asked. Let me tell you that we've had a 342% increase in price reduction since last year.
Sounds so smart.
Yes. Okay.
And like the median sales price, that's interesting too. It went up then from 22 to go.
Right. So when you're protesting your taxes and they say, hey, do you know that your property value went up $85,000? And then you say, well, actually, my property value went down 2.4% year over year. Where are you getting your numbers from? Yeah, I'm gonna send this in.
Well,
I'm gonna pull January's numbers and send them in year over year. You better believe it.
pull your cities, right?
Yes, I'm gonna pull my city. Yep, I'm gonna probably pull, and I'm gonna probably pull my ISD also. Send both in. Okay, good questions. Let's keep going. All right, so then we have a little bit of a trend report. See the coming soons, Jill? This is where we don't have data for the full year, so it's coming soon. So this is the same information kind of laid out over an entire year, and then it shows you the trend. Yep, so it shows you the trend of what's happening, just like a mini graph here. So for instance, let's pull one out. Let's see here. Median sales price as an example. So you can see, you can track it month over month all the way across, and then you can see it's gone up, kind of peaked where the peak was, and it's come back down. And then year over year, it's down $9,505 just as a whole for all selected counties over the last year. So that's kind of a handy chart to have if you're trying to look at overall trends. Okay. And then you can go pull each county. So if you just want to look at Collin County, same data. And then the summary page is here. Dallas County, same, you get the idea. These are the counties that's included in all counties. So Collin, Dallas, Denton, Fan and Lamar, look at all the zeros in Fan and Lamar. There's just not any data over there. So they don't have anything in this 600 to 700,000 in March. So that's why they're zeros. Grayson. Kaufman. Rockwall Hunt. Tarrant. Okay, now, I like looking at these two. This is hot or not. If you get questions or, you get confused on what these are, read the description up here at the top. But I wrote down hot or not is you're looking at pending listings compared to active listings. So what you're looking at here is, let's look at Collin County. We had 1,664 active listings, which is a 10.4% increase compared to last month. We had 1,809 pending listings in Collin County, which is a almost 1% increase month over month. And you take that ratio, but it's actually, the pending ratio is actually down 4.1% month over month. So hot or not, you're looking at month over month and year over year changes for pendings. So we've had more active listings, more pending listings, but the pending ratio is actually down month over month.
But this is just till March, right? So this is 23 static, but we haven't gone into our peak season. So it'll be interesting to see what May and June, right? The
Yes.
change.
This is just for the month of March.
Is this really the picking up our peak season?
No.
23, right?
Yeah, right.
So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, but you could go back. I mean, once we have a full year of data, you could go back like this time next year and pull March of 2023 compared to March of 2024. You're talking to a seller as an example, starting in June, like right here. Right here. Look, starting, let's see, we have April of 2022. We go back that far. So April, you could compare April of 2022, once April and next week or whenever the May data comes out. Sorry, once the April data comes out in the first week of May, you can compare year over year just with those two.
Yeah, isn't that's kind of like a little bit skewed because it's one full year, 22, but then just 3 months into 23.
Say that again?
It's like, I mean, you're comparing a full year of 22 with just 3 months data of 23. I mean, you're just saying at that point in time, that's the difference. The
So-
decrease at 4.1 or whatever.
But no, this is month over month. This is comparing the pending ratio of March of 2023 compared to February of 2023.
Right.
Yep. And then the year over year, see, it says coming soon. So that we don't have that data yet. We will starting next month because we have April Chartmasters data from April of 2022. So check back on, especially on this hot or not one, check back this for when this time next month. Actually, this time next week. Check back and Chartmasters will have hot or not data for, should be the year over year change for active pending and pending ratio.
So they will update this chart. These ones, or they're gonna add.
So what you're looking at here is the month of March 2023.
It's gonna be the.
And so this time next week will be April of 2023. And then later in class, we're going to look at the quarterly reports. We're going to look at the whole quarter, which are totally different charts altogether. Yeah, but they do get updated once a month. And you guys are paying for it in your office bill. You're paying for these charts, so we need to be using them. And we're going to talk about that later, how we're using them, and we're going to brainstorm different ideas on how you can be using them. Okay, and this is all on the county's report. I haven't switched off the county report. So sellers, buyers, or balanced market. So you're looking at closed listings. Here's your absorption rate, Tish, or months of supply and inventory. So this is a good one to look at too. What did I write down on here? Sellers, buyers, or balanced market, looking at months of supply of inventory. Oh yeah. So this is just showing you month over month change for absorption rate, months of supply of inventory, and closed listings. And look, you have year over year changes here now. So total closed listings in Collin County this has got to be for the month, is a 23% increase compared to last month and a 4.3% increase since last year. This is great news. You know, we felt like last year was a super tight market, not a lot of home selling. Well, we have more home selling this year than we did last year. With less supply in the month compared to last month.
And higher interest rates.
And higher interest rates. That's right. That'd be a good video to talk about. Okay, median prices. You get the idea here. There's a lot of data. I don't want to bore you with all the data, but median prices, you're looking at closed listings, median prices, pendings, and then actives, month over month, and then year over year you have on the closed listings. So we looked at this a little bit on the all counties change. Remember, there was like a 2.4% decrease in closed price listings. Now, if you just look at Collin County, there's a 6.8% decrease in median price. So if a seller goes, or excuse me, if a buyer goes, I'm going to wait and get a deal, I'm just going to wait and I'm going to wait for prices to fall. They're going to fall at least 20%. Well, actually, they've fallen 6.8% from this time last year. You think that's a good time to buy? You can show them the data year over year. It's already come down 6.8%, and it's actually increased 4% from this time last month. We better get on board or else the prices are going to start going back up. Okay, the 100% club. How many homes sold at 100% of their list price? And you can see that in Collin County, almost 33% of homes sold at 100% of the list price or greater, which is a 43% increase compared to last month and a 62% decrease compared to last year. So Bob, you've been talking about multiple offers again, right, in your classes?
Yeah.
So, but compared to last year, we're down 62% probably.
Yeah, last year was crazy.
Mhm.
That was a different world. And so while we're not there, whether we end up being there or not, we certainly are back in the multiple offer world in most price ranges. If it's, if it's a good area, then yeah, we're seeing that, particularly if it's a well-priced property.
Mhm.
So we've got to be prepared. And the reality is, when you use these numbers and you own the listing, you go through the process, this supports your opinion to the seller about whether or not that's what they're going to expect. You need to educate that seller from day one. Here's what we expect, without any guarantees, without saying, well, it's a hot property, you're gonna get all kinds of stuff, because you don't want to, mislead them on unreasonable expectations. But you should know, based on this data, based on what we see going on out there in a particular house, particular neighborhood, particular market, what to expect.
Right.
And yeah, we are seeing, well, and within your own team, you're not just seeing multiple offers, you're seeing prices going way above this price. Not as bad as it was last year, but you're still paying that.
Yes.
That's something that we need to educate that seller about, because unfortunately, as you know, our sellers are watching the news and reading stuff and going on Zillow and Google and all that stuff. And I was just listening this morning on the radio, and they were talking about, they focused on Collin County, the increased rise in prices. They had some data there, working through that, and Collin County, Plano, and Salina, and Prosper, all those places. And without really talking about the source of that data. And so some of that kind of stuff can mislead a seller on their specific situation. And this kind of data is really key to help and support how you're going to, you now become that expert, and you've got that third party data that helps support what you're trying to tell them. So this is incredibly valuable.
Yes, thank you. Couple more on the county's report before we switch to the city and the ISD. This one, price reductions and your effect on negotiations. These are really good. So of the closed listings, how many had a price reduction? 46% in Collin County. And Jeremy Trask in his quarterly reports class, he said, listen, all of these sellers won, they closed. These are not failed listings, these are closed listings. 46% of them took a price reduction. And that's a 15% decrease from the month, but a 901% increase on the year. It's insane. And then of the ones that are pending, 34.9% experienced a price reduction, which is an 18% decrease on the month. So we're seeing fewer price reductions over the month. And then look at active listings, 13% did a price reduction. So you can see from pending to active, this is a trend. If you ask me, 18.6 to 13.1, fewer price reductions are happening. So as you, Tish, are saying, the market's kind of coming into the prime season, heating back up. We're seeing fewer and fewer price reductions, but compared to last year, we're seeing a lot more, almost 1,000%. Yes, Bob.
So, and you may, I had to step out for a minute, so you may have talked about this. This is all great data. It's something we can really emphasize our position. How you talk to them about it, I think is critical. Give me a sense of, as you're talking to your client, reading the room, understanding some need it more than others. How are you taking all this information and packaging it and what you're telling them? So they say, oh, wow, that's great information, Jessica. Yeah, I see why we should do whatever.
I'm gonna do that when I switch to the city reports.
Okay.
So when we get there, remind me and I'll do that, because I think it's more impactful when we get to the city data.
Okay.
So, and
Good.
when they're actually looking at us in their price range, in that city data.
And you keep an eye on the glazed look on their face. When you're going through, they go,
Yes, they might need
are
coffee.
you through yet?
Anybody need coffee? Yes, okay. Okay, we're almost through with the county report here. Okay. Price reductions effect on days on market. So of the homes that did not do a price reduction, they spent on average 14 days on the market. That's a 20% decrease on the month and a 75% increase on the year. And the ones that did do a price reduction, they spent 109 days on the market, 4.3% increase on the month and 30% increase on the year. And then I love this one, price reduction effect on negotiations. Of the ones that did not do a price reduction, they got 100% of their list price. And then of the ones that did do a price reduction, they got 91% of their list price. The difference in the percent of original list price received is 8.7%. That's huge. This is, Bob, this is something that I talked to them about. You know, would you rather price right the first time and get 100% of your list price, or price wrong, do a price reduction, sit for a little while longer, do another price reduction, sit, and then sell at 91% of your list price?
So where do you think a buyer thinks when they have knowledge that a property they've reduced the list price? What do you think the impact of that is on a buyer? And this reflects that, I think.
Yeah, when I have a buyer, and Larry, I know you do the same thing, Brad does too. When we have a buyer that's looking in, like, say, Plano, in between 4 and 450, I'll pull up the chart masters and go to that price range and look at the houses that have done price reductions, what percentage they're selling under list price. And I'll take a screenshot and send it to the listing agent.
Is it under original list price?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you think the buyer thinks when they see that? Do they think, wow, this is a motivated seller, I can get a better deal? Or what do you sense from them?
Well, we have to manage the client's expectations too. You might have an unrealistic seller, you might have an unrealistic listing agent that doesn't have information and the same data that we do. And so we need to educate the listing agent on, here's the data of what this is telling us, that this house should sell for this percent of original list price received. These are what the comps are showing us, and here's why we're offering what we're offering. You know, this is a fair offer based on the data that we have. And are you willing to accept it? Yes, Larry.
Do you think that the broad-based reports are more for our sense of the market? But when we're dealing with a specific client, we need to dig down into their, and I know you're gonna do this. I think sometimes showing the broad reports to a client, I get that glazed look.
Yes, yeah.
But if I'm looking in Garland at a $350,000 house, it seems very effective to go to that specific report.
Yes,
That client.
you want to switch over to that?
I think everybody's interested in that.
Okay, so canceled, expired. Okay, that's it for the county report. Stop of that.
So are you saying just to use this, like when you're submitting an offer, and let's say the home is at 475, but county at 450, it shows it would, let's just say 7% reduction. So would you say that would, so 75, maybe take 8% of that?
Yeah, I'm gonna show you. So when I am submitting an offer on a specific property for a buyer, I would come back over here to my March. I'm in the mykw.kw.com. I'm gonna come over here to 2023. I'm gonna click on March, and I'm gonna go to single detached. And I'm gonna go to selected cities, the PDF. And I'm gonna make it bigger. And I'm gonna come down here and let's just say that the city's in Plano, right? And this includes Plano, Parker, and Murphy. You can see that here. I'm gonna click on Plano. And it's gonna take me to, looks familiar, right? Very similar to the county setup. So let's just say that the house is between, Tish, to your point, what'd you say, 5 to 550? Yeah, okay, let's say the house is between 5 and 550. And you scroll over here and you realize that the houses with price reductions. Okay, wait, sorry, I lost it. Price reductions, 40% of the houses between 5 and 550 did a price reduction. And of the houses that did a price reduction, they got 92% of their list price. So let's say the house, somebody have a calculator on them. Say the house is listed at 525. What's 92% of 525? Let's just say that the original list price was 525. And they're down to 500.
Okay, what was the question?
What's 92% of 525?
$483.
That's where the house should sell for. That might be a really hard pill to swallow if they're sitting at 500. Right? But I can send this data to them and say, look, this is what on average homes in this area are selling for in Plano. And I can send them comps in their neighborhood. I can sell that story to them. And it's not a story, it's facts. I'm working off facts here. This is data from our MLS showing of the houses that did a price reduction in this zip, or not zip code, in this city, in this price range. This is what they should be selling for.
When you're negotiating with an agent on the other side that doesn't know the facts, you can overwhelm them and influence.
Yeah. And
Put somebody in your chat.
oh, thank you.
Brad.
Brad. Saying good job.
Is that Brad? 483, he did the math for me, 483, thank you, Brad. Sleep over here. Okay. And then on the flip side, let's say you're going on the listing appointment, right? You can do the math for them. Would you rather sell at 525,000? Because right here, on average, sellers in this price, wait, 505. 101.8% of their list price. So you would take 525,000 times 101.8. That's what they should be getting if they were priced right the first time. Or would you rather get 400 and whatever you just said, 483,000 because you priced wrong the first time? There's Brad. So, and then, oh, by the way, sorry, this is hard to do up here. Okay. Oh, by the way, would you rather spend 6 days on the market or 115?
Think about all that time having to keep your house ready for showings.
Yeah. So,
And all our overhead costs, like.
absolutely.
Oh.
And we're gonna go over the quarterly report and I'm gonna show you a really cool tool to use that with.
3 payments.
Repayments, yep.
Especially if your seller has 2 little kids, dogs, and those are not easy.
And if it's during the summer, think about that water bill. Summer.
It's 3 times, surprise.
Okay, so a couple of tips and tricks on the city report. So we switched over to the city report. And of course, if you scroll down, it's gonna look very similar to the county. You know how it's the same data on the left side of the column. Got the month over month and then the year over year. If you click right here, back to table of contents, it's gonna shoot you back to the top and you can look at the other cities. So that's handy. So that's the city. You can look at Prosper as an example. Look, they have a lot of zeros because there's just not a lot in there. Under 250, they don't have anything. They don't have anything, no closed sales between 5 and 550 and Prosper in the month of March, 0. It's interesting.
If all these cities, it looks like it's still a seller's market, right?
Still a seller's market.
Rest of them are all green.
Yeah, well, and the reds they're red because there's 0 closings, not because they're a buyer's market. Yeah, I mean, and then honestly, if you're trying to decide with the seller, if you're in between like price brackets, okay, I clicked on Prosper in March, right? So, let me give you an example. I just lost it. Just go. Okay, here. for instance, if you were between 550, let's say you're trying to decide between like listing between 549 and 550 or 555. Obviously, 0 sold between 500 and 550. And there was 4 that closed between 550 and 600. And look at their percent of original list price of the ones that were priced right, almost 104%. So I would probably try to get in this, if it made sense and the cost made sense, I would try to get in this price range. That's another way that you can use it. Okay, any questions about the city reports? The city reports don't have any of those cool like summary charts. They just have the city data. Okay. So again, you can click on the second page here, click back the table of contents, it takes you back to the top. And you can see downtown Dallas, these are the zip codes included. Far North Dallas, these are the zip codes included. So we did not include all parts of Dallas, only these zip codes. Then Louisville and the Colony are grouped together, Rockwall and Fate are grouped together, Plano, Parker, Murphy are grouped together. So in terms of cities, now I'm going to switch over to.
How did they decide on those pairings? Do you know?
Yes, myself, Angie and Jeremy Trask sat down and decided that there wasn't enough data in some of the cities and which cities made the most sense to group together.
Okay.
So we just went off of where our agents were producing the most amount of business, honestly.
So you just made this stuff up. Okay.
We did it. We just made it up. And honestly, I mean, we're the only office in the entire state of Texas that has chart masters. So we're the first to the market and we got to get it set up how we wanted it to be set up, and then we can tweak it as we go. So if you see something that just doesn't make sense or doesn't work, I want to know about it because we have the opportunity to switch it around.
So towards the end of your presentation, hopefully a successful presentation with the potential seller, you kind of make that point, says, you know, we're the only ones that have this. So did you see value in this? Did you find that what we have that we're offering you that no one else is offering you makes a difference for you? You kind of help them remember that so that as they're making a decision, they say, oh, she's right. Nobody else has this. And this was
Right.
valuable. This was good stuff.
I don't know if you remember the CCAR used to put out the pulse reports.
Yeah.
And I used to pull those on every single listing appointment I went on. I would pull a pulse report, and in my listing presentation at the end, I would go the greater areas like the city of Plano, and then I would go look at their neighborhood, and then I would go into my CMA. That's just an order of business that I did on my listing presentations. And then the pulse reports, they stopped doing them. They just don't offer them anymore. So that's whenever I found this, the chart masters, and we brought it in and brought it to ALT. They found value in it and they voted on it, bring it in.
Yeah.
So that's where, that's how I structure it still. I do the broad, the city data, and then I bring it into their neighborhood from there.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, so the ISD report is the last one I want to show you, and then we'll switch to the quarterly. So Dallas detached selected ISDs for the month, opening that one up. So you can see that it looks very similar to the city report. It's broken out by schools. So you might have a listing that is sitting on the border of Little Elm and Frisco. It's in Little Elm, but it's in Frisco schools. And so you might want to pull data that is only in Frisco schools instead of Little Elm City, or you might want to pull both. And so you could pick Frisco ISD and go over here and look at this data, because it might be more meaningful to have Frisco school data than Little Elm City data. Make sense? So that's all the school data. Are schools driving prices in some of your listings?
Yes.
Same thing here, you can go back to table of contents. Okay. So before we switch over to the quarterly reports, I want to just have a little group conversation about how are we using some of these charts in our messaging and our data. Like, so for instance, I don't know if you guys follow me on social media, but I've been using them on some of my videos. So if you want to go back and look at some of the videos I've used, I pull out data and and talk about them. I write a script. I use ChatGPT sometimes to help me write a script and talk about some of the data. I also take news articles and debunk them with the data. Bob, with the perfect example, he's finding news articles, trying to find the source of their information, realize it's just simply out of date or wrong. And we're using this factual data that's updated every single month, and then using that to overcome the data. We are using this in our conversation practice with our team. Whenever we're overcoming objections, we're using the data to go do that. We use it in our listing presentations and our buyer presentations. We talked about that. We use it in lead generation and open houses. We use it at the dinner party conversations we talked about. I take it door knocking. We talked about door knocking a little bit the other day. I mean, I literally knock on their doors. Did you know that your home value has gone up 17.2% in the last year and 2.4% in the last month? Have you ever thought about selling? I mean, but have the conversations with people and use real stats. You have it updated every single month and you're already paying for it. So how are you guys using this data? You have any ideas that you want to share? Anybody in the chat room want to share?
I could definitely say it'd be helpful if you have a seller that's like, well, my house is worth this much and like, well, this is what I want to sell it for. And then it's like, well, no, you need to put it at this price for what you have. And it's going to sell faster and at both value.
Right. Right, that's good. Use the facts with them and say, I can appreciate that your house has X, Y, and Z value and all these updates and everything. And you know, when we look at the data here, would you price it here and risk sitting on the market for 181 days and potentially selling at 94% of list price? Or would you price it here and sit on the market for 6 days and price it at 100 and get 100% of your list price? Which would you rather do?
Exactly.
Buyers, I would say those that are waffling about, oh, I'm gonna wait till the market, you know, goes down or crashes. This will come in handy to say, let's forward, this is why.
Yeah.
You know, because everybody has their economic. Like you said, Facebook is there, everybody's economic faster than news, so the data is great for buyers. Too.
Yes.
Kind of, you know, those who want to move forward is great, but those who don't. Let's wait, or let's see if the houses.
Yeah, definitely use it in our buyer presentations all the time, buyer conversations. We have a lender come in and talk to us every week in our team meetings and taking some of the things the lenders are seeing and the data that they're using, pairing it with this data, makes for a really powerful conversation. So, Brad or Larry, anything you guys want to add?
I think it just makes us look smart. Makes us stand out from the average realtor.
Okay, good. Okay, before I get into the quarterly report, I want to bring your attention to YouTube. And there's a reason. So if you go to youtube.com, this is important, write this down. youtube.com and type in the search bar, KW Plano videos. Hit enter. And you're gonna scroll down here to the first one. It's a blue KW. Click KW Plano videos. We have 159 videos on our channel. And there's one right here that says Chart Masters with Jeremy Trask, 23 views, posted 6 days ago. And it's 2 hours and 17 minutes. Okay, seems like a lot of time. You don't have to watch it all at once. This is where Jeremy walks you through, the owner of Chart Masters, who knows everything there is to know about everything Chart Masters related, is going to walk you through the entire quarterly report. And he is phenomenal about explaining it. If you don't know how to do a listing presentation, then watch this video. He's going to tell you exactly how to do it. He's going to tell you how to use the Chart Masters data to do a listing presentation. He's going to tell you all the tools. Phenomenal presentation. And it was here that he did it. He came from Colorado to teach our market center, and we recorded it. And it's there for you to watch whenever you want to watch it. Which video is that one? It's called Chart Masters with Jeremy Trask, and it's on our KW Plano Videos channel on YouTube. It was posted 6 days ago. Got it? Okay. Okay, I am back in my kw.kw.com. I'm in the 2023 folder and I'm gonna click this time on the Q1 2023 reports. Okay, you can see that they're split up this time between, say, condo and detached. And there's really two types of reports this time. There's detached selected counties quarterly report, and then there's the detached area comparison quarterly report. And you have PowerPoint and you have PDF. I wouldn't even really pay attention to the Excel. You don't even need them. You just need to focus on the PowerPoint or the PDF. In this case, for the quarterly reports, I like looking at the PowerPoint because they're interactive. And I think it's important to, if you have a Mac and you do not have PowerPoint on your computer, this will not work. You have to have PowerPoint installed. So you can use, I don't know if the computers back here have it or if you have a PC computer, but you have to have PowerPoint. And I don't even know if the computer we're on has PowerPoint. We're about to find out. So I'm going to click on the detached area comparison quarterly report to start. We have 10 minutes left, so this is going to be very high level. I'm just going to hit a couple of the highlights. And we're going to do another class that goes over the quarterly report in full detail, but everything I go over right now is in that 2-hour video from Jeremy. And he goes over it in high detail. So it looks like we have PowerPoint. The Zoom room, are you guys still with me? Thank you, Ray.
Did you click Plano?
I clicked on the Plano detached area comparison report. Okay, so now it looks like, I mean, you're in PowerPoint, obviously, and all these slides are in here. I'm gonna make this. Slideshow. Yes. Okay. Okay, so we're just gonna go through a couple of these. There's several things that make the quarterly reports different. It is going to give you a broad view of a lot of things. I've pulled out a few of my favorites from the quarterly reports and have that in our listing presentations to go over. If you try to hit a seller or a buyer with some of this stuff, it's gonna shoot way over their head. This is more for you to know and pull out the data that's going to be really important to the seller that you're meeting with. If you've got on a DISC profile, DISC, you got a high C, they're going to appreciate some of this stuff. If you've got a high D, they don't want to know this at all. They just want to know the point, get to the point. But some of this is really good. I like looking at it. It's very valuable information. So market share of closed transactions, I'm just going to hit the highlights. This is important for you to see. Keller Williams has the most market share in our entire area. You add a Coldwell Banker and EXP combined, it still doesn't match what we're doing. Okay. And then you can see Ebby, Remax, Century 21, J Park, Bob, Compass, and Homes USA.
This is all counties.
All counties. Okay, number of sold by county. This is units. Change in number sold by county. Median sales price by county. Percent change in median sales price by county. And then look here at the top, it says all changes compared to same period of previous year. So you're looking at year over year. So this quarter compared to last quarter. Median days, so okay, think about the March reports for just a second. Remember how in Collin County, we were seeing the year over year price changes had gone down slightly. Look at now, this is the quarterly report is saying that the change in median sales price is flat for Collin County as a whole. So if you're talking to a buyer, the home values have not dropped at all. Our appraisal district thinks that they've gone up 400%. But the overall, they're flat. It's been a flat year compared to this time last year. Okay. Median days on market by county. Percent change compared to last year. Days on market. Median percent of sales price compared to original list price received by county. And then the percent change in sales price received compared to this time last year. percent of transactions with a price reduction, and then percent change. And then amount of failed listings. Percent change. Get the rhythm, right? Months of supply. And then don't ask me to describe, oh, I know what this one is, okay. All right, so area price range comparison, so. No. Okay, I'm gonna hit escape on this one. And it's gonna bring me to this, see how my mouse changed to this little 4-point? I'm gonna double click on this slide. And try to double click on the slide. You should be able to click on this. Why is it not doing it? This is an interactive chart where you can,
Are you gonna read them?
why won't it let me click on this? In PowerPoint normal mode, double click anywhere inside the chart. Double click anywhere inside the chart. To enter Excel mode, click in the yellow box using the down arrows to select price range and area from the drop down list, and then click twice outside the Excel worksheet to
At the
return.
very top, it says you're.
Okay, I double clicked anywhere inside. It's thinking. Okay, so Tish, remember that 500 to 600 house in Collin County we were thinking about? Collin. And what does it say to click outside the Excel worksheet? Okay, so it just updated Collin County price range between 500 and 599. So median days on market last year compared to this year, percent change compared to all. Pretty cool, right? If we want to change it to 700 to 799, boom, changes it again. Pretty neat. So that's an interactive chart. Make sense? Okay, I'm gonna keep going. And then the next slide is price range evaluation, color coding based on the effect on sellers. So it's gonna think again. So these are all interactive. That's why you want to download the PowerPoint, not the PDF, because they'll interact with you on the PowerPoint. Collin County percent change versus same period last year. So that's updating a little chart for you. You can print this and take it with you. So that is the area comparison report. Now I want to show you. I'll show you one thing. I'm going back to the detached selected counties quarterly report. This one has the most information on it, and it has something really cool I want to show you. This is also in Jeremy's video. He does a way better job of explaining it. Okay. Do you have 5 more minutes to give me to go through this? I want to be respectful of your time. You good? Okay, well, this is recorded, so we can go back and watch it too, but okay, this was really powerful, I felt like, on Jeremy's class. So what this, let me make it bigger. Okay, in all the counties, there were 16,478 closings. 95% was the average percent of original list price received, and average 53 days on the market. Of these, 8,446 did a price reduction. Of the ones that did a price reduction, 5,145 were previously listed, and 3,300 were not previously listed. Of the ones that were previously listed, they got 88% of their original list price and they spent 148 days on the market. Wow. And of the ones that were not previously listed, they got 93% of the list price and spent 53 days on the market. Back up here to the top of the ones that, of the total close, the ones that did not do a price reduction, they got 100% of their original list price and spent 15 days on the market. Of this group, 1,054 or 6% were previously listed. And they got 98% of the list price and did 145 days on the market. And then of the ones that did not do a price reduction, they were not previously listed, got 100% of the list price and spent 12 days on the market. We want to be in this box and not in this box. This I can take with me to a listing presentation and go over this. Let me show you. So right price, right agent, right price, wrong agent, right price, right agent, wrong price, and wrong price, wrong agent. Okay, that's really powerful. And I'm going to scroll down. This is an interesting slide that I sometimes take with me on my listing presentations. This is something that Chartmasters is tracking that I don't think everybody is tracking. How much sellers pay in closing costs. So you can see it's broken out by price range and the hidden right here. Let's see. I'll move this. Oh, sorry. 2022 is the fourth. 2022 is the fourth quarter. I think 2022 is, I think the red box is the Q1 that we're looking at. And then the 2021, I don't know why it's not updated. I think this has got the wrong numbers on it. I think you're looking at this Q1 2023 compared to Q1 2022. Anyway, you can see that on average sellers in this 300 to 399 were increased. They were paying 51% increase in seller paid closing costs. So I thought that was really interesting.
So that's really important because those are price concessions most likely to fund buy downs versus price reductions.
Correct. Well, maybe, or both. Okay, here's another interactive chart. It looks like that one we just looked at, right? So let's say, okay, so I'm going to double click inside here. Let's say that we are going to look at 500 to 599 in Collin County. So you could take this on your listing presentation and we're looking at Collin County, 500 to 599. In the first quarter, there were 523 listings. 95% was their percent of original list price. We want to be in this box, not this box, right? So of this total 523 listings, 224 did not do a price reduction. Of those, 211 closed without being previously listed. They got 100% of the list price 12 days on the market. The ones that did a price reduction that were previously listed spent 142 days on the market and got 88% of their original list price. Wow. So that's an interactive chart too that you can play around with. Now, the one that I want to show you that is the most impactful is what does this actually mean? So Tish, let's say that you're going on a listing presentation in Collin County. And let's say that your seller wants to list their house at 600,000. Okay. And you're a smart agent and you have all this Chartmaster data and you know that the house really needs to be listed at 575. Okay. Now, the yellow boxes here are what you need to fill out in this form. So the county selection, the seller's desired listed price, your suggested market price, and then down here, the closing costs. Let's say that the utilities are probably closer to $1,000 a month. Insurance includes insurance, taxes, and maintenance would include property taxes. And property taxes on a $600,000 house are close to $10,000 a year. So that's probably, Brad, help me on the math here. $10,000 a year on property taxes plus insurance is probably $200 a month plus maintenance. What do you think is the total monthly cost on those things?
1,500.
So you're saying property taxes, how much?
10,000. Probably 10,000 for the year.
Net insurance 2,400 for the year.
Yeah, probably. Plus,
You're looking at a little over $1,000 a month.
so plus the maintenance, let's say 1,100. Okay, we'll just do 1,200.
Yeah,
Okay, and then the mortgage on let's say they bought it for 450. Right, so mortgage on it is probably, I don't know, 2,200, does that sound right? Principal and interest, other housekeeping yard is probably closer to 300. And so it adds up their total monthly carrying costs, so let's take a look at this. Slideshow, you can print slide. How do I get this to go away? Okay. All right. So seller's desired list price is here. We know that the price is too high. Like, you know that you're sitting there across the table, it's too high. And you walk them through this, it's 87% likely to, they're likely to sell at 87% of their list price based on that. Price reduction, sit, correct, price reduction, sit, correct, sell down here. So their likely sales price is 526 after 135 days on the market in Collin County. If selling with your suggested price, they're likely to get 100% of the list price after 12 days on the market. Even though the list price is $25,000 lower, their net sales price is $48,000 higher with 123 fewer days on the market, 4.1 months of difference of sitting, which their monthly carrying costs add up. That's a $68,000 difference in their pocket. Would this not be powerful to talk to a seller who just truly doesn't get it? Okay, so this is in the quarterly report. Make sure you spend some time with that. And Jeremy does a way better job of explaining it than I do, but we're beyond our time. I just want to be respectful of your time. Hopefully that was helpful to you today.
The listing presentations, you have that maybe already filled out in that form. You don't have to worry about.
Or I have my computer.
Or it actually works.
Yeah, I have my computer. This is like a last ditch effort is what Jeremy says. If they still don't get it after you hit them with everything, all the other data, then pull this out. Okay, thank you guys for being here. Chat, is there anybody? Oh, chat, yes, one chat. Oh, you're welcome, Ray. Appreciate it. Let me know if you have any other questions. Thanks, guys. That was a lot of information in a short amount of time.
It's still in the same sheet, right? Just, I didn't quite see how you got to the quarterly one.
Yes.
When you're going back, just,
Yeah,
it's in the same.
let me show you.
Is that the,
So right here under 2023, quarterly is right here.
oh, okay. I just didn't go further.
And again, quarterly, I would always go PowerPoint because that's how you get them to be interactive. Okay, you good to me?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Let me know if you have any questions.